They say that time is a straight line, but in the world of love, hate, and fate, it's a circle that we can never escape. Every choice has a cost, every hero has a shadow, and every story has a soul. Welcome to Love, Hate, and Fate.
The Blood-Bound Eclipse. Chapter 3. The air in the grotto thickened, turning from the scent of ozone to something ancient and sweet, like dried rose petals and old parchment. The shared memories didn't come as a vision or a dream. They hit like a physical weight, a synchronization of two souls that had been trying to collide for an eternity. The ghost in the mirror. Kaelen halted at the edge of the reflection pool, his hand still tight on the hilt of his wooden sword. He meant to rush toward the screams of his men, but his feet felt rooted to the white marble. The golden chain between him and Lyra began to vibrate, emitting a low, haunting frequency that bypassed the ears and resonated directly in the bone.
Sync rate 5.0% reached. Initiating Chrono-Echo, the first life.
Kaelen, I can't breathe.
Lyra gasped. She clutched her head, her knees buckling. Kaelen reached for her, and the moment his fingers brushed her shoulder, the grotto vanished. The vision. They weren't in the labyrinth anymore. They were standing on a balcony overlooking a city of white spires that reached toward a whole, unbroken moon. The air was warm, and the sound of 1,000 harps drifted on the breeze. Kaelen looked down at his hands. They were adorned with rings of starlight. He wasn't a commander. He was a prince of the lunar house. Beside him stood a woman. She wore the golden silks of the sun-sighted royalty, her hair a cascade of molten gold. She turned, and Kaelen felt his breath hitch. It was Lyra. But her eyes weren't violet with malice. They were soft, shining with a love so profound it made Kaelen's modern heart ache with a phantom grief.
They will never allow it, Ethelred,
The Sun Princess whispered, her voice a perfect echo of Lyra's, stripped of its jagged edges.
The sun and moon were never meant to touch.
Then we will burn together,
The lunar prince replied, his voice Kaelen's own. He reached out to kiss her, but as their lips met, the sky turned red. A great sword of obsidian, the same material as the labyrinth walls, slashed through the air, severing the balcony. The world fractured into 1,000,000 shards of glass. The reality. Kaelen slammed back into the cold reality of the grotto, gasping for air. He was on the ground, his arms wrapped around Lyra as they both trembled from the psychic aftershock.
Memory synchronized. New passive skill unlocked. Soul Sight, rank F. Description. You can now see the true level and intent of any creature within 10 feet.
Lyra shoved him away, her face a mask of horror and confusion. She scrambled to her feet, wiping her mouth as if she could still feel the ghost of that kiss.
What was that?
She demanded, her voice trembling.
That wasn't me. I don't wear silk. I don't look at you like that.
It was a memory,
Kaelen said, his voice unusually soft. He stood up, feeling a strange hollowness in his chest.
The system said we've killed each other 1,000 times. Maybe that was the only time we didn't.
It's a trick.
Lyra snapped, though her eyes remained wide.
The labyrinth uses our desires against us. It's trying to soften us so we're easier to harvest. Don't fall for it, solar scum.
I'm not falling for anything.
Kaelen growled, the familiar armor of his arrogance sliding back into place.
But the soul sight is real. Look.
He focused on the tunnel where the screams had come from. Through the stone, he saw 3 flickering red auras, the injured sun-sighted knights, and one massive jagged purple aura lurking above them.
Entity detected. Stalker of the Deep, level 8. Intent, predation/hunger.
Level 8.
Lyra whispered, her violet eyes narrowing as she tapped into the shared skill.
And it's invisible to the naked eye. If your men try to fight it, they're dead.
We have to go, now.
The ambush. They moved through the warrior's path, the chain between them now a silent, glowing wire. Kaelen led the way, his level 5 stats making his movements fluid again. In a clearing of jagged obsidian, 3 knights were backed against a wall. Their leader, Lieutenant Valerius, a man Kaelen had trained himself, was bleeding from a deep gash in his thigh. His level 40 flame shield was flickering, drained by the Labyrinth's dampening field.
"Hold the line!"
Valerius shouted, his voice cracking.
"It's here! I can smell the rot!"
Above them, clinging to the ceiling like a gargantuan tick, was the stalker. It was translucent, its body shifting like oil on water. It opened its maw, preparing to drop onto the lieutenant's head.
Lyra,
Kaelen whispered.
the chain, wrap it around the pillar on the right. When I jump, pull it taut.
You're going to use yourself as bait?
She asked, a smirk playing on her lips.
I almost like this plan.
Kaelen didn't answer. He lunged into the clearing.
Valerius, down!
He roared. The knights didn't recognize him in his rags, but the authority in his voice was undeniable. Valerius dived to the side just as Kaelen leaped into the air. The stalker dropped, its claws missing the lieutenant by an inch. It screeched, turning its sightless head toward Kaelen.
Now!
Kaelen shouted. Lyra yanked the golden chain. Because they were level 5, and the forced proximity buff was active, the chain didn't just snap taut, it surged with a blinding solar light. It caught the stalker mid-air, acting like a high-voltage wire. The creature shrieked as the holy light seared its oily skin. Kaelen landed on the stalker's back, driving his wooden sword, now glowing with a faint, vengeful violet fire, directly into the base of its skull.
Critical hit. Combined damage, 450.
The stalker collapsed, dissolving into a puddle of foul-smelling ichor.
XP gained 2,000. Level up 5 to 7.
Kaelen stood over the carcass, chest heaving. He turned to his men, his heart hammering. He wanted to call Valerius by name. He wanted to tell them the commander was alive. Valerius stood up, leaning on his sword. He looked at Kaelen, a dirty, ragged boy, and then his eyes traveled to the golden chain connecting him to the Nightwalker girl standing in the shadows.
"Who are you?"
Valerius asked, his sword point dropping but his eyes narrowing.
"And why are you bound to a shadow filth?"
Kaelen felt Lyra tense behind him. The chain hummed with her sudden spike in fear. If he spoke, if he revealed his identity, the Solaris Empire would hunt them both for the soul link. To the sun-sighted, being bound to a Nightwalker was the ultimate heresy.
System warning. Emotional flux detected. New choice. Reveal identity or remain the nameless eclipse.
Kaelen looked at Valerius, his friend, his brother in arms, and then he looked back at Lyra. In her eyes, he didn't see an enemy. He saw the girl from the vision, the one who would burn with him.
We're nobody,
Kaelen said, his voice cold and unfamiliar. He jerked the chain, pulling Lyra toward the exit.
Just 2 ghosts trying to get out of the dark. Don't follow us.
As they disappeared into the next tunnel, a notification flashed before their eyes.
Mystery loot box, rank E. Earned. Would you like to open it? Hidden stat unlocked. Resonance. Current level 1. Higher resonance allows for soul merging for 30 seconds.
To be continued.
Ethelred, we will burn together!
White spires turn to ash and bone, the memory of a stolen throne. This chain that binds our faded souls remembers futures turn to coals. We are the eclipse, the sun goes dark. The sun and moon have left their mark. We are the eclipse, the sun goes dark.
The clock may have stopped for today, but the cycle continues. If you felt the love, shared the hate, or just want to see where fate takes us next, make sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell. Until the next chapter, thank you for watching Love, Hate, and Fate, and being part of the story.